Hello everyone, Dr. Alexander here. Today we'll continue with our discussion on the degree of listening part 4. We will conclude this degree next week. So let's jump in. To listen to others, leaders must compartmentalize. Sometimes, whatever happens or is happening in the leader's mind is secondary to being fully present to others. So there have been times, so many times, when just before a big meeting or giving a speech, some of us may receive upsetting or bad news that we had to set aside. It's a reminder yet again in those moments that leadership is not about you, and you need emotional intelligence, especially empathy, to be there for others and truly listen to them. It's really putting yourself in the other person's shoes. See, I'm sure some of us can remember conversations in the early days of the pandemic when people shared deep concerns about their loved ones. I remember a particular lady shared some information about her daughter who had a serious fever. Another shared concern about family members stranded in other parts of the world who had health issues and couldn't get back to the United States. And someone else shared about a relative having illnesses and couldn't receive treatments right away, and so many other information. But during the pandemic, leaders went through all those gut-wrenching discussions that affected many good and talented people. A leader shared that he made a series of calls to other leaders who had delivered some rough messages, the kind that no leader wants to give to their team. He said that as he called around to get a pulse, he learned that one of his leaders was actually struggling, and immediately he reached out to him. When he spoke, he said he acknowledged the leader's feelings without disclosing what he heard or from whom he heard. And, he said, "I know this is a nightmare," and I'm quoting him, "and I'm sorry this past 2 weeks have been so tough," he began. But just by saying those words alone, the leader knew his superior was interested in real feelings and not a brave face. Friends, listening and communicating with empathy requires a safe atmosphere in which others know that the leader is truly listening and wants to know what they're actually feeling and thinking. So as a leader, you're not a priest in a concessional, allowing others to unburden their souls. No, rather you're acting more as a combination of psychologist and mentor with the goal of helping people identify problems, decide on solutions, and take actions. Listening to others should lead to empowerment. And there will be many times when people ask for something that just can't be done. Perhaps not now or not in the way that they desire. And in these challenging moments, rely on what I call the sandwich principle, with positive messages on both ends, the bread, and the negative, the feeling in the middle. In this case, the first positive is showing that you really listened, such as by reiterating the issue or the problem the person is facing. The negative is the reality that what the person wants simply may not be possible, or may be that the problem is more of the variety of fear, uncertainty about how long difficulties are going to persist. The reality is that these challenges may not go away anytime soon, and they sometimes are beyond anybody's control. So then provide a hopeful message at the end. Let them know you're willing to listen. Then help them to see how and where they can get positive actions. Next week, we will finally close with the degree of listening part 5. Thank you. Stay inspired, engaged, and connected. Bye.